I'm Cassie and welcome back to another video. I am home alone and it's like 3:20 in the afternoon on the 28th of December. I'm never home alone and I'm like, what is going on here? Any second now I expect my younger two to text me for a ride. My husband and eldest have gone out for a swim. It's way too hot outside for me to exist, so I stayed home also because I'm on taxi duty. But I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to check in with how this year went. Goals. Did I have any? If I did, I don't remember what they are. I probably made a video, but I'm not going to go back and rewatch it. There's no point. This was the worst year, almost anyway. It's been an incredibly hard year. I came into it with one chronic illness. I'm leaving with three. I published 2 books rather than more. I didn't have any major collaborations or anything happening. I started looking at those things and thinking about how actually I didn't do anything this year, but Instagram told me that was a lie. So thank you, Instagram. I couldn't find the I guess it was a story or something because it's disappeared, about what I did with my year, but I taught writing at the Kapiti Writers Retreat. I did a world building workshop for a weekend, which was amazing. I had a fabulous class who I loved and who I hope are doing super well. I did world building again, much shorter class at a New Zealand Society of Authors Roadshow. I was at Auckland Writers Festival. I was on a panel and I was moderator for a panel, and they were both fabulous, and it was an amazing experience. What else? I know there's been other things. I had 2 short stories. What do you call them? One I was, so for a literary magazine in New Zealand called a.k.a, they asked if I would be their featured fiction author for August, and I said yes, and they published my story, and I got lots of awesome feedback from that. I'll put the link down below. And then recently I found out that they nominated it or selected as one of the nominations for the Pushcart Prize, which was really cool because that's never happened before. I'd heard of it but never thought it would be something that might apply to me, so that's really lovely. Nothing will probably happen, but it's actually just the thought that counts, right? And the second short story I had selected this year was for a microfiction anthology, which is coming out next year, and that's going to be published in English and also in Te Reo Māori. So it's my first story that's been translated into the language of my culture, even though it's not a language I can speak fluently myself. So that's pretty awesome. I'm very excited about that. So 2 short stories I never expected to exist in the world, and that did, and are doing lovely little things for themselves, so that's great. Under Nova, I published Gemini Blessed in May, and that bombed horrendously, but we're not dwelling on that. And also In the Spirit, which came out this month, on my birthday on the 13th, and is doing really well. So that's a lovely comparison. Also, this amazing thing's happened where I'm getting read through. So it's a co-write with an author friend, which I really need to talk about this more in a video of its own, because I have so much to say about it. It's just been a tiring time. So she has a huge reader base, which is awesome, but it's based on a revised version. Like it's expanded. It's now twice as long as it originally was when I wrote it just by myself. And she loved it and wanted to work on it with me, and now the first book is out and the readers are enjoying it, and some of them are going and buying my other books, and that's amazing because that's not really happened for me before. So that's awesome. I'm feeling really positive about where I'm ending the year for publishing. I think that while it was the hardest year for me in terms of the number of people whose lives I had to save, the number of constant watching to make sure people weren't harming themselves, that kind of thing, it's been very exhausting, very tiring, and I got to probably September-ish, maybe August, let's say when Dee and Sarah came over and I hung out with them and felt very nurtured and nourished in person for the first time in a long time, that I kind of realised I've spent a lot of my life saving other people and not being saved by other people, but also not allowing other people to step in and try to save me when I needed it, because I don't ask for help and I don't tell people I need help, and that's just the way I prefer it. But I'm going to have to change that if I want to change anything in my life, right? So that's a really loud motorbike, but that's a thing to focus on for me next year. So yeah, while it was hard, I've learned so much. Like, I learned about boundaries and I learned about saying no to things, and I actually had to stop and think really hard about what it is that I want, which is not something I spend a lot of time thinking about. I think I've always been so much just rescuing and saving and taking the next step and the next step rather than thinking too far ahead, which, while helpful in some ways, is, or not helpful, but like, it's survival mode, right? Like, I've been in survival mode for so long that I've not had any space and time to stop and actually think about what I want beyond that. And I'm finally there. I'm in a place where I can do that. So December's been amazing. We started off with COVID. We had COVID for 2.5 weeks ish within the household and the family. And while it's not like the ideal way to start the last month of the year, in some ways it was, because it meant that instead of starting my break on the 13th, like I said I would, I had to start it on the 2nd, which I think is around when I got sick. And so I spent most of December resting, lying around, reading a lot of books. There'll be a video about that coming soon. And really enjoying that and embracing rest and refilling my creative well and thinking about what it is that I want to do next year and what I want to focus on first, and how best to combine my projects and passions and also my preferences to create the best kind of life for myself. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm hoping that along with it means that I'll be here on a more regular basis than I have been lately, because we all know consistency is not my primary objective, or I can't think of the right word right now. Like, it's not the thing. I'm not that great at that thing. So that's okay. Yeah, it's been, 2024, a hell of a year, but I have some goals for next year and a new way of looking at things as well, which will hopefully mean that I can achieve some of those goals in a way that I couldn't to date. The fact I can set goals, even if they might only be like a month at a time, or I'll do this and when this is finished I'll do the next thing, because they're all stepping stones to where I want to get to, rather than because this is the next fire I have to put out. Feels like quite a change for me. I don't want to just be putting out fires everywhere. I would like to be more intentional, and I feel like now I finally have the space and the clarity, the mental clarity, to be able to do that. And also the support of my family. I think that's been the big thing this year, is me actually being more clear about needing help. Even just around the house, and having one of my kids really stepping up and helping in the kitchen a whole lot, and my husband taking over grocery shopping because I hate it with a passion and I'm terrible at it. Things like that have really helped to give me more space, and I love that. I need it so much. I need so much space and time and less things, less thinking, less of the other stuff. So I've had the least stressful Christmas in ever, maybe, that I can remember in the history of my adulthood, which is nice. And yeah, it's almost the new year. And while I am absolutely dreading it, I'm also excited about it as well. So yeah, I know that there were other things I achieved this year. We got Death in the Mouth 2 out. It's beautiful. I should have prepared earlier wait, I can't even pause this particular filming thing to show you a video, but it's under stacks of boxes, so I can't get a book out. I don't have one handy. Got that. Oh, there we go. I'm getting summoned to pick up children, I think. Yes, I am in just a minute, but we'll finish this off first. So, got Death in the Mouth out, number 2, launching it properly next year because Sloane and I both had stuff going on this year. Clean slate, let's just start over next year. Published a couple books of my own, got some recognition for things, did some cool workshops, met some cool people, and learned so much about myself. So while it was the hardest year ever, and I'm going out iller than I was, I'm also going out in a much better place than I was at any point in this past year, or maybe this past decade, I don't know. And that's really freaking exciting. Okay, I better go pick my kids up. I will catch you next time. And yeah, I hope you have a great end of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the new one.